One missing girl, 4 scapegoats, years of bronze justice. Bangkok outskirts 1986. On July 22nd, 16-year-old Thai American student Sherry Ann Duncan leaves for school like every other morning. But Sherry Ann never returns home. Several nights later, the police find an unidentified body off the Sukhumvit Road in Samut Prakan. The body is later identified as Sherry Ann Duncan's. The cause of death is allegedly from lack of oxygen. There were no signs of struggle or sexual assault. On 20th August, a rickshaw driver named Praman comes forward to Sherry Ann's mother. He says that he saw 4 men carrying a golden-haired girl out of a building onto the deserted street. It was around 11:30 p.m. He asked them if they wanted a ride, but they refused and pointed out their car, a white 2-door sedan parked in the alley. The driver identifies the 4 suspects. They are the subordinates of Mr. Vinay, the 41-year-old owner of the building that the men allegedly carried the girl out of. He was a business owner, and he harbored a secret relationship with Sherry Ann Duncan. The court tries Vinay's 4 subordinates for Sherry Ann's murder. After gathering witness testimonies, circumstantial evidence, criminal records, Vinay's 2-door Mazda, and Sherry Ann's belongings, Vinay is released due to lack of evidence. His 4 men, however, are initially given death sentences in 1990 for Sherry Ann's murder after a long, publicized trial. But this version of the story was far from the truth. Vinay followed the case closely after his release, trying to prove his men's innocence. In 1988, a secret letter from the Crime Suppression Division stated that they had sufficient evidence to clear the 4 men of the involvement in Sherry Ann's murder. The CSD discovered that the local police's casework was built on fabricated evidence. The autopsy results were cursory, and there were discrepancies in the witness testimonies. However, they weren't released until 6 years later, in 1993. So who killed Sherry Ann Duncan? 1995 brought new evidence to light when a woman showed up at the police station with Sherry Ann's watch. Seeking revenge on her cheating husband Samat, she exposed him for being an accomplice to Sherry Ann's murder, outing another man, Sompong, who strangled Sherry Ann to death. Samak, Sompong, and her driver were hired by a rich woman named Kung. Who would have guessed? Sherry Ann was not Vinay's only girlfriend. Money at hand, Kung channeled her jealousy into a gruesome murder, the evidence of which she covered up by having an affair with the lead police officer. She bribed the rickshaw driver to fabricate a story that framed Vinay and his subordinates. Kung, Samat, and Sampong were arrested in 1995, but Kung was released due to lack of evidence. In 1997, the court ruled life sentences on the men. In 2003, 26 million baht was paid to the wrongly accused victims and their relatives. But this was not a happy ending. They paid a heavy price for a crime they did not commit. Rung Chalerm died in prison. Pitak died from a prison's disease. A few years after his release, Thawat died. And the fourth, Graset, became disabled from a spinal injury caused in the prison, during which he lost his family. He passed away in 2012. Sherry Ann Duncan's case stemmed articles like 237 and 246 that aimed at protecting suspects' rights. Sherry Ann Duncan's case exposed more than her murder. It unveiled how money manipulated the truth and the system that ruined lives in the end. The societal issues, the boogeyman, that drew out the tragedy in this case, ultimately narrowed down to money and greed, power corruption, and a crippled justice system.